Have you lost the connection with your higher self? Are you noticing the dis-ease of the outside world? It's time to reconnect with nature and each other and raise our consciousness, vibration, and frequency. Together we can create a world of peace and abundance. It's Spiritual Revolution Radio with your host, Dr. Will Miller.
Hello and welcome to Spiritual Revolution Radio. I'm Dr. Will Miller, your host today. I'm also the director of the Life by Design Institute, and today I would like to welcome Matthew Stapley. Let me tell you a little bit about Matthew before we get started. He is a gifted psychic medium. He's an ordained and licensed minister, an inspirational speaker, and a healing facilitator. So, Matthew, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really, really appreciate it. How are you?
I am doing well today, and thank you. We're kind of off our normal schedule today, and Matthew was kind enough to change his schedule around to accommodate us, so thanks. You're awesome for doing that.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Are you kidding? I was really excited to do this, so I would have done this at 4 a.m. for you guys. Not just because I have insomnia, but because I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. You know what? I know you're a gifted medium. I've been ever since I was first contacted about you being on the show. I went to your site. I've been on your Facebook. I actually think I went in and I started to order your oracle cards today, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But tell us a little bit about yourself, how you first came to understand your psychic gifts, if you will. Let's hear a little bit about you.
So, I mean, first experiencing and first understanding were two totally different things. But the first experience that I remember is when I was about 8 years old, and my dad was traveling in Thailand and I was in Canada, and he called to say hi to my mom and brother and me, and I ended up picking up the phone and started describing the room he was sitting in, which is called remote viewing, and that freaked him out. He said that was the day the aliens got me. So basically that's when it started, but understanding it took a lot longer than that. Understanding what it meant to, be connected to spirit, and then to augment that understanding to understand further that all people are connected to spirit. Everybody is in continuous, constant communication with the universe. So there was multiple levels of understanding. So, of course, as a teenager who could see dead people, I thought I was special. And then as an adult who helps people to develop their own gifts and abilities and all of that, I realized, no, actually every single person on the planet can do this if they're in the right zone, if they can figure out how they're already receiving.
Sure.
Yeah. So
have you been ever since you can remember seeing spirits, or was there a moment, an epiphany, if you will, that you went, oh, wow, I see spirits?
No, there wasn't one big moment. There was for more for ministry and speaking, but there wasn't really for spirits because that was something that I had always, seen. It took me a little while to start doing it on purpose, but yeah, it started at a pretty young age. I mean, with not long after the remote viewing experience, that's when the spirits really started to show up, and it started with my grandfather, and then other people's loved ones started showing up, and it's been interesting.
I'll bet. So I know you started your professional work as a psychic around the age of 17. Yes. When did the remote viewing, you said you were much younger when that happened.
Yeah.
So kind of tell us what brought about into professional work, into helping people, and those types of things. Tell us how you got to that point.
Sure. Yeah. So I guess it started with, I was at a friend's house and his mother had tarot cards, and I was like, I don't know what those are, but I want some, and I think I was about 12, maybe 13. So I asked my grandmother for money to buy tarot cards, and she was French Canadian. So French Canadian people love psychics a lot. And so she just handed me, $20 or whatever. And I went to the bookstore and I bought tarot cards, and they sat in the bottom of my closet for a couple of years. And then one day, I think I would have been about 16 or 17. I woke up earlier, 16 maybe. And I woke up in the morning and I felt like I was supposed to bring the tarot cards to school, and they had been sitting in my closet forever. But just prior to that, I started seeing aura colors around people, and I had a friend who taught me how to sort of go with my own intuition and interpreting them. And then, so I brought the tarot cards to school, and I offered some girl a reading, even though I didn't know what I was doing. And I laid the cards out, like the same way I saw them do it on TV, basically. And they just started speaking to me. Like I was just seeing this story unfold, which turned out to be what was happening in her home life. And then, yeah, and then after that, I was at a French class in someone's home. It was a private class. And we had to talk about things that we were good at or talents or whatever. And so I started talking about the aura reading thing. And I read somebody's aura, and it was a big emotional experience. And then I ended up being offered the opportunity from those people to go and do, like the people, sorry, whose house we were at, to go and do readings for their family reunion. And then it just kind of exploded after that. It just started getting phone calls from all over. People wanted to drive to get readings. So,
wow. Okay, so you're obviously gifted in doing this. I know you've also assisted people worldwide with helping them with more than just with mediumship, but through grief and self-acceptance and the anxieties and fears we face in everyday life. But you've also hosted 2 successful television series. I noticed that in your bio and the information I was given. So tell me about those real quick. I'm sure everybody's excited to hear.
It's kind of funny. So like I've always loved media. I've always loved media work. I don't know why, other than that it's fun. Like I wish that I had some kind of amazing cerebral spiritual reason, but honestly, it's just a good time. Like, and it helps people, so it's kind of like a win-win. So I was offered a TV show. I started doing like kind of public speaking, and I was getting big audiences, sometimes almost 500 people. And I had like a regular sort of platform mediumship gig at a cafe. This was back in like 2012. And then because of that, I was in the media a lot with interviews and everything. And so then Rogers TV asked me if I wanted to do a TV show, like a call-in show. And I thought, well, I guess I could do the Miss Cleo thing, a little bit. And so, yeah, I did that. And there was so many callers that after the For You episodes, they offered me like a full time slot for the following season. So it was my own show, the second season. And yeah, it was fun. I got really stressed out at the end. I was like, I can't do this anymore, because I found being live on TV was just like next level. And so then I figured out after that I have to help people with anxiety, because I would have like a nervous breakdown in the green room and then go on and do half an hour of television live. But I figured all of us kind of go through that in our own ways in our lives. And so I left live TV behind, and just went on to do other things in public speaking and things like this, which are a lot less intense.
They sure seem to be. I was into music and sang in a band for 20 years, went to Nashville, recorded. I thought I was going to be a country music star, all those things. So I understand that anxiety before you walk out in front of a live audience, or you're on TV or any of those kind of things. It's a little nerve-wracking. So
very much so.
So we're getting a lot of questions already popping up on Facebook, but there's a couple other things I want to cover, and then we'll maybe have you do a couple live readings on air, if that's okay, and
totally.
And talk to some people, because that would be really cool. But I know you have some oracle cards you've designed, and I actually went through them today. I love purple in the colors. My PowerPoint, in fact, in front of me with all my notes to ask you questions about. I have like 5 pages, by the way, are all in purple. So tell us about your oracle cards and how you got them out and what. Sure. I mean, that's kind of a far step from being a psychic medium, So let us know.
It's true. People had told me forever, like, Matthew, make a card deck, and I was like, I'm no artist, and I can write, but I'm not good at drawing or anything like that. But one day I was at my computer, and I was just kind of like had half an hour before I had to do a reading. So I pulled up like my photo software, because I do photography as a hobby. So I pulled up my photo editing software, and I thought, I'll just try and do it digitally. And so I created the first card and I showed it to my partner and our roommate, and they were both like, no, you should make more, like you should keep this up. So over like 3 weeks, that's all I did between clients, and at night was I just did one card after another, and before I knew it, I had like 45 cards. So that was the first deck, which was Lantern of the Soul. The second deck, I was kind of weird because I was already working on a deck slowly, and this other idea popped into my head that people were going to have to face their shadow, right? Like the parts of themselves that are uncomfortable for them, the skeletons in their closet, and all of that. And for my own healing journey, I knew that the only way to heal is to be uncomfortable, to go and sit in the closet with your skeletons and have coffee with them and get to know them and figure out why they're there. So I made a deck over the course of, again, about a month that specifically delves into the parts of us that make us uncomfortable. So it's Lantern of the Shadow. And honestly, it works. I mean, I wanted to die for 3 weeks while making that deck for other people. So even making it, I healed some things within myself. But it's been fun. It's been fun.
That's awesome. And if you get the chance, definitely people should go to your website, MatthewStapley.com, because and that's Matthew with 2 T's, everyone. So you know, it is really kind of a cool deck. I went through it in quite a bit of detail today, so it's a cool deck to look at. We have a lot of people up on the screen. I'm looking up the screen here. Maybe we can, and you can see the screen too, I think, Matthew, right?
I can see sort of 2 people at a
Yeah,
time.
we may have to. Can we ask my engineer here? Can we screen down just a little bit? Maybe I saw a couple that we passed up. He's looking at me like with his hands in there. I'm not sure if we can do that or not. Let me see what I can do. But I know there were some people asking. See, he's figuring it out for us. I'd love a reading, please. There's Candace there that he just passed a second ago. Candace was asking if she could please have a reading. I saw, boy, we have a lot just hitting us here.
Oh, I'm getting drawn to this Paula Phillips Frizzle lady.
Oh, okay.
Super. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm writing her name down. So the way that I work is basically I'll just write a name down. Sometimes I scribble while I'm reading. Generally, I'll just kind of like zone in. So Paula, as I'm stepping into your energy field, I want to talk just a moment about some of the auric colors that I'm seeing around you. And an aura to me is like a diffusion of energy off the body. It has information within it about, our state of being. Also, sometimes things that are coming into our lives, like sometimes I see the future coming into someone's aura through color. But the first thing that I'm really drawn to, Paula, is I'm seeing a lot of sort of this rusty orangey color over your solar plexus. And the solar plexus is all about like our health and vitality and willpower and strength and all of that. And the sort of rusty color to me represents the needing to release old energy. And as I step into that further, I start to get anxious. I can feel this sort of building of this red color, this anxiety color happening. And so what they're saying is that the anxiety that you carry does have sort of like a foundation of old emotions. And I feel very strongly that because they're over the solar plexus, they're tied to feeling constricted. They're tied to feeling like you don't have choices or options or a way forward that is within your own control and empowerment. I want you to know that this is going to get better for you. Between January and the end of March, I see big emotional releasing happening for you, Paula. I get a lot of peace coming in. I also feel like you're very gifted. I feel like you're very sensitive. I feel like you're very empathic and empathetic. And immediately I'm getting a small animal coming forward for you. And this to me feels like it could be a cat maybe, or it would have to be a really small and weird dog. So I'm going to go with more of like a feline energy. I don't see them. I can just feel them. And I very much feel that as this animal is stepping forward, I feel like they had issues with their GI system or their gastrointestinal system towards the end of life. And I feel like they may have even had bloating or something happening that expanded their stomach a little bit. Whoever this animal is, Paula, they are coming in for you. They're talking about the feelings of isolation, and they're not talking about pandemic COVID-19 isolation. They're talking about feelings of just not being able to reach out to people, not being able to share yourself with people, feeling like your feelings and thoughts get stuck in your throat. And they're wanting you to know that, again, this is temporary. They're saying that when we go back about 10 to 12 years ago, the people that you had around you were very draining. And I see that those people are no longer around you. And so going forward, just know that you are going to overcome these challenges. This loneliness will not be there forever. You will bring new people into your life. But I feel like in order to do that, you have to release this old energy so that you can trust people again. And that's what I get for Paula.
Mhm. Thank you. That's awesome. It's interesting that you can also bring in the animal energies too. That's something I wasn't sure about. Yeah, that's cool. So
It is. It's neat.
well, hopefully that helps you, Paula. And someone keeps popping up. They've asked about 4 times now up there.
Sure.
Is Laura Gibbons. She says she's new to this, but if you could somehow connect to her, she would love it. And she put
All
about
right.
500 little loves on there. So
Well, let's do. Oh, I can see her name here. Laura. Okay.
Yeah.
Laura Gibbons. All right. Let's see what we got. So writing the name Laura down. Oh, all right. Wow, you've got a lot of energy. So as I'm tuning into your energy, Laura, the first thing that I'm seeing around you, I want to talk about the outer aura, which to me can really talk about somebody's life purpose. And this is a very, very, very bright and light blue. So to me, this is somebody who brings healing to people. This is somebody who has the ability to bring calm to people. They are saying, your spirit guides are coming forward. They are saying that last year at this time, you were in a major roller coaster. They're saying you were all over the map, all up and down. And they're saying that you're finding stability. They're saying the big lesson that you're working through right now is learning to trust your own judgment and also having confidence that you can get through anything that comes your way, because they're saying up to now, you've always kind of felt like something was just terrible was about to happen or something was about to fall apart or whatever. And I want you to know that that's not going to be there forever. I feel like you're already working through that, but it comes down to self-trust and the ability to know that you can just handle whatever shows up. They're wanting to talk about your mom's side of the family, Laura. They're saying that there is sort of an inherited trauma that goes down that family line. And when I ask spirit guides what this is, they're saying that it's about feeling like you can't make the right decision and feeling like you're always making the wrong decision. So the word trauma in this sense means that it's an energetic pathway or a trait that has been inherited that was formed in a sort of crappy experience, a million generations ago. They are saying this is shifting. They're also wanting to talk about healing around a female that is connected to your mom's family that is not you. So if your mother is still alive with us on earth, that's probably who they're talking about. They're saying this person experiences depression or heavy-heartedness. They are saying that this will heal, but she has to be the one to do it. You cannot do it for her. Also, as I'm stepping into the energy of that family line, I am getting a female coming in from spirit, somebody who's passed on that is older than you. So this could be a grandmother vibration. I feel like when she passed away, she had major lung inflammation or breathing problems because I feel like there's a swelling of the lungs. I also feel like she had an issue affecting her mind or brain a little bit because I get this sort of sensation that she lacked clarity towards the end of her life. In her younger years, in her good health years, I feel like she was somebody that was very direct with people. I feel like she was very loving, but tough or very direct. I also feel the month of February is important to her, and possibly also the 9th of a month, or it could even be September and February, because I just see the 9, but it's not February 9th, it's February and 9. So it could be February 9th, or it could also be talking about September or the 9th of another month. I very much feel that this loved one is coming forward for you. She is saying career path-wise, there will be forward movement in the month of September for you. She is saying that it may involve retraining for something or going back into school or something like that. I get such a good vibe from it. And they're also saying that you're going to meet somebody named Kathy who will have a male who has passed on young, whose name is either Trevor or at least starts with a T. He passed quickly in a car accident. And I feel like you need to deliver the message that he's okay. So whether you already know that person or not, I feel like this message it feels imminent. So within the next few months, if you don't already know somebody who would fit that description of losing a young man with the T name or Trevor, I feel like that will happen and you'll be able to pass that on. But I think, Laura, overall, you're doing great. Your path looks really good.
That's excellent. I'm watching the clock. I keep looking up at the clock here. We've got a little time left, and I don't know how you feel. If we have time for one more, many people have popped up. Fiona's popped up several times. There she is again.
Sure.
And Fiona and other people have popped up for her, saying she really needs a reading. So maybe if we can help Fiona, and then talk about a couple other things as we end the show today. So.
Let's do it. All right, so Fiona. So I just wrote the name Fiona down, and I'm going to tune in and see what we get. So, all right, Fiona, as I'm stepping into your vibration, I get so much red around your heart. And red to me is anxiety. It represents ungroundedness and tension, but it's there for two reasons. One, I understand that that you've had some loss. I saw your comment, so I understand that you've had some loss. I also feel like this red represents like very intense empathic ability, which means you're feeling and sensing everybody's emotions all the time. I don't know if you can connect with a younger person that passed away, but I'm getting a young energy coming forward. I also am very drawn to springtime or the month of April with this individual. I also want to say that when this person passed away, it came on suddenly or quickly. It does not feel like this is something that took, a long time to happen. I also want to say that they're talking about your living arrangements, and they're saying that, yes, a move is coming. A move is coming. It will be good for you. It will bring you to the place you need to be. They're also saying that you are cutting cords from unhealthy relationships, and that this started in December of last year, so a year ago. This started at that time, and they're saying that you often don't feel like you have the strength to go forward, but you do. I also get another man coming in from spirit for you, and I can smell alcohol. So to me, this is somebody who had addiction issues or something like that on Earth. I feel like when he passed away, he was not elderly, but he was over middle age. So that could be in his 60s or 70s or something like that, but not like 90 or 100. I very much feel like whoever this person is that is coming in wants to bring an apology to the family. So to you as well, but to the family for perpetuating challenging or negative cycles. I also feel like when this gentleman passed away, he had multiple organ failure. I'm feeling like my kidneys are going, my liver's going, kind of like everything is falling apart. And he is at peace. All the spirits that are coming forward for you are at peace, but I very much feel like he is wanting to apologize to family. So I would place him on your dad's side of the family, but I could just feel him stepping forward for you. So things are going to be okay, Fiona. I understand that it's been hard, but just keep breathing. I think that you're going to get through all of this stuff. I really do.
Boy, it's such an honor to have you on the show today. It's so nice how you just can connect so quickly and help people. So thanks for doing that. As we kind of wrap up, we got about 4 or 5 more minutes, and I told my engineer today that if we go a little over, we go a little over. So just maybe talk about, and I'll share my feelings, but sure. I usually share more of my feelings. I'm going to actually bring you more into it today, if you don't mind.
All right.
But I'd really like you just kind of talk about, the kind of the global energy that's going on right now, and what can people do, to kind of, you talked about Fiona and all this anxiety, and it seems like so many people are feeling that pain and anxiety and everything that's going on. So what are your ideas concerning that? And what can you maybe give us some parting words, if you will?
Are we allowed to swear? Because the first thing I want to do is...
Well, it is a podcast, but it does go live on the radio as well every week.
I'm totally joking.
No, he's over there going, "You're okay. He's okay." I'm being told by the producer you're fine.
Oh, no worries. I was more just saying it because I think a lot of people are experiencing that intensity. I feel like this year's a year of huge growth for people. I feel like we have gone through, as a humanity, we've gone through things that we haven't had to go through for like at least almost 100 years. And I think that this has been an opportunity for us to go within ourselves. I think this has been an opportunity for us to look at the hard stuff, within ourselves, within our world, within our connection. It's been an opportunity to break systems that have been broken for a long time, or maybe it's been to dismantle systems that have been broken for a long time, both at a societal level, but also within our own selves. It's a great year for shadow work because everyone's stuck in their houses, so they might as well crawl into their closets. I feel like if there's advice for people as a humanity, it's to see through your heart. As this year has progressed, and I'm sure there's still more of this to come, people's anger is coming up. People are easily frustrated. People are being mirrored by their environment, including other people. And so use those triggers, see them as keys, work with them, go within with them, work on yourselves. This is what this year is about.
I agree wholeheartedly. I always tell people, without chaos, that we can't fix anything. And if you look at any system, it has to break down first before we can put the pieces together. And perfect year for the system has fallen apart. It's now time for us to get out of our body, get out of our mind, and get into our spirit, if you will, and find that part of us that we've let go for a very, very long time. Like you said, even 100 years since it's really been talked about. So what a great message. I appreciate that.
I like to look at it like making soup. Like you can't make soup with cold water. And when you boil soup at a chemical level, when you throw in all the ingredients, everything starts breaking down to give you a good flavor. And I think that's what we've been making soup for 2020.
We have, and it's definitely been cold soup. So,
Yeah.
so here's the 2021 as that soup heats up and the good seasoning comes and the good flavors come out, because we really need that, and we really need an awakening. And without the chaos, we wouldn't have the awakening. So, I think we're on the right path. I tell people, it's great to be disturbed and a little panicked, but this is all going to be good. It's all part of what is supposed to be happening. So, just quickly, I wanted to mention a couple other things so people could find you and know how to find you. Again, it's MatthewStapley.com, 2 T's on the Matthew. But I know you do a weekly live feed on Facebook.
I do.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I go on 7-ish if I'm, 7-esque if I feel fancy, but 7-ish. I go on and I do this for as long as I can before I feel like I'm burning out. And then Friday nights, I have been starting to do kind of like this craft project. We're talking to each other thing, and all sharing wisdom. And again, that's through Facebook Live. So I'll see you guys later for that for sure.
Do you pass that on to YouTube or anything else, or is it all just Facebook Live? So
it's pretty much Facebook, just because I'm not so technically inclined.
Okay.
And honestly, like I love my Facebook family. They've become family to me. They really have. They're the last thing I think of before bed, and the first thing I think of when I wake up in the morning. They have a huge piece of my heart, and so that's pretty much where I stay. And TikTok.
Watching the comments pop up here, obviously there are a lot of people who love you. So that's a good thing. I feel really connected to you. So it's been nice to have you on the show. It really has. I really think we'll become good friends. So
I hope so. I would like
I do
that.
too. Yeah. Well, we're about ready to wrap up. I just want to let everybody know, you know what? It's time to free our souls and our hearts and really find that unconditional love and universal connection that we're all connected to. Again, thank you, Matthew, for being on the show. I'm Dr. Will Miller. I can be contacted through my website at Life by Design Institute. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Love and peace.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
This has been Spiritual Revolution Radio with Dr. Will Miller. For more information or to be a guest, please visit lifebydesign.institute. Join us next week for another edition of Spiritual Revolution Radio with your host, Dr. Will Miller. This has been a production from a podcast studio.